Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, Keith Clark's daughter recounts ordeal on night of father's death. The prosecution's second witness in the trial of 3 soldiers charged with the murder of Keith Clark said she accepted that she was going to die on May 27, 2010. Brittany Clark, the daughter of the slain accountant, who has been giving evidence since Monday, described the ordeal as a nightmare. Marshaled by the prosecution, the witness, who was 18 years old at the time, said there are no words to describe what she experienced. She also described the aftermath of the police military operation as destruction. Brittany, who was a lower sixth form student 14 years ago, said it was at the point when she heard the gunshots getting louder inside the house that she accepted she was going to die. Earlier in Tuesday's proceedings, she told the court that she and her mother took refuge in the master bedroom. Brittany said they both telephoned the police, her pastor, dance director, and the neighbors, but she later told her mother to stop calling and pray. She said her father left the bedroom with his licensed firearm and returned with it. The witness said when he returned, he threw the weapon on top of the cupboard before climbing on it. She said at that time, she and her mother returned to the bathroom where they sought refuge. Ms. Clark said after her neighbor returned a telephone call to her mother, she climbed on top of the toilet and began screaming on top of her lungs, pleading for help with hopes of the police hearing. The witness said after hearing male voices in the corridor, she decided to face the darkness that was coming. She said she also heard a sawing sound. Explaining that there is a wall between the bathroom and the door to enter the bedroom, she suggested to the voices that they don't have to saw off the door and that she could open it. While exiting the bathroom, huddled behind her mother, she said the soldiers began entering in a queue. She explained that it was about 68 soldiers, but later in her testimony, she said soldiers like ants were inside her house after her father was shot. Recalling the moment she witnessed her father's killing, Ms. Clark said she screamed out, but the soldiers told her to shut up. She corroborated her mother's evidence that her father was shot whilst climbing down backwards from the closet and that he had nothing in his hands. She also testified that she told the soldiers that her father's licensed firearm was on top of the cupboard. Lance Corporals Greg Tinglin and Odell Buckley, as well as Private Arnold Henry, are on trial for the 2010 murder. Mr. Clark was killed at his Kirkland Heights home in St. Andrew during a police military operation to apprehend the drug lord Christopher Dudos Coke. 3 shot, 2 fatally in Westmoreland. 2 men were shot and killed and another critically injured in Gordon District, White House, Westmoreland on Monday. The deceased have been identified as a 24-year-old Santino Brown and a 40-year-old businessman Carlington Walker, both from Gordon District. Police reports indicate that Mr. Brown and Mr. Walker were standing along a roadway after offering support to a friend whose wife had recently died when a gray Toyota Axio motor vehicle pulled up. 2 men alighted the vehicle and opened a gunfire at the men, who ran towards a nearby shop. The gunmen gave chase and continued to fire. Mr. Brown subsequently collapsed in front of the shop and the gunmen escaped in the vehicle. When the police arrived, Mr. Brown was seen lying in a pool of blood with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to the head, neck, and the chest. Mr. Walker received a gunshot wound to his chest. A third man, who was a customer at the shop at the time of the incident, received a gunshot wound to his right leg and abdomen. All 3 were transported to hospital, where Mr. Brown and Mr. Walker were pronounced dead. The other man was admitted in a serious condition. A white Toyota Axio motor vehicle parked nearby was damaged during the incident. Body of man found in shallow grave in South Bar in Portmore. The body of a man was discovered in a shallow grave in the South Bar area of Portmore in St. Catherine on Tuesday. Deputy Superintendent of Police Michael Campbell says detectives were on the scene, but the investigation was being hampered by inclement weather and the densely wooded area where the body was found. Campbell is attached to the St. Catherine South Police. Man tells court he broke into Canteen because he was hungry. A man who allegedly broke into a canteen and stole food says he did it because he was hungry. Marcus Sherrington had his matter bumped up in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday when he tried to leave the holding area to access the bathroom. Sherrington is charged with shoplifting and larceny. He was reportedly caught on CCTV footage eating the stolen food. According to court documents, on May 17, 2024, the complainant securely locked up a canteen, which the accused allegedly later broke into. He reportedly stole food and a Samsung tablet valued at $18,000. Sherrington was apprehended the same day. It is reported that while being apprehended, Sherrington asked officers, "You never hear about me? I'm in name Coke Boss." Appearing before Senior Parish Judge Sanjay Burrell, Sherrington was ready to enter a plea. Questioning whether she should order a psychiatric evaluation of the accused, he responded, "I'm very clear. I just eat 2 chicken and a bread and they locked me up from me until now," a resolve that Sherrington told the court. Pleading his case, the accused explained that while he managed to open the lock and enter the canteen, he only took food. "Many other things were there to take, but I just took the food," Sherrington told the court. He explained that he had visited a friend for $1,000 and ended up breaking into the canteen because he was hungry. "I am very sorry about it," a regretful Sherrington told the court. "You are a thief with a purpose," Judge Burrell responded. Sherrington is to return to court on June 18, 2024 for a bail application and to enter a plea, but he explained to the court he will have nowhere to go and no one to turn to should a bail be granted. More security measures for Gordon House. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Juliet Holness, has announced that additional security measures will be employed at a Gordon House. This follows an incident where a Molotov cocktail was hurled at the entrance to the building, resulting in the doors being scorched. The perpetrator has not yet been caught. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake has announced the review of all security measures at the state buildings. Speaking in Parliament on Tuesday afternoon, Mrs. Holness said the building was not breached and the damage was minimized by the quick response of the police on duty.
"I have received assurances that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is making every effort to apprehend the perpetrator or perpetrators involved in the shameful attack on the home of our legislature. Furthermore, additional security measures will be implemented here at Parliament, including the deployment of additional personnel and the strengthening of the electronic architecture of the building. Further assessment will be made by the National Intelligence Bureau." Thank you, members.
Transport Minister proposes immediate ban on rideshare apps. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz has recommended an immediate ban on rideshare apps being used locally. The Transport Minister said in addition to operating outside of the regulatory framework, there are concerns being raised as to the safety of commuters. Mr. Vaz said to date, only Uber has responded to a request for a meeting to discuss their operations locally. He said the Transport Authority will be meeting with the local ride-sharing entities this week as there must be some established guidelines.
My recommendation as of today, which will obviously have to be vetted for legal purposes, is that a ban on all of those ride-sharing apps with immediate effect until such time as we can come to the table and work out properly how these apps will be regulated in terms of making sure that safety, background checks of the drivers are done not only by the rideshare apps, but by the Jamaican authorities, whether it be the police or the transport authority or whoever. And I make no apologies. I have today written to both telecom providers on a letter from the Assistant or Deputy Commissioner of Police, indicating the concerns for national safety of our citizens. And I would like to state that this matter is not today that it came up because of the incident. I actually took a cabinet submission to cabinet 3 weeks ago to discuss this very matter because of the complaints that I was getting from commuters and also from industry players who are playing by the rules and paying their fees for their license, etc. And these apps are undercutting them both in fear without any form of background checks and no monitoring by the Transport Authority.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.